Stephen A. Smith has had enough of Molly Qerim and has called her out for her anti-Caitlin Clark narrative. Caitlin Clark is having one of the greatest rookie seasons ever, and since finishing her WNBA season, her critics have been backtracking and trying to downplay her greatness. However, people like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe have kept track of the comments made earlier in the season. Molly Qerim was one of Clark's biggest detractors, even claiming back in June that it would hurt the game if rookie Clark were selected for the Paris Olympics.
Stephen A., I could actually argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving.
So go ahead and argue it.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, we're not putting the best team out there.
Now, she's trying to backtrack on her outrageous statements, but Stephen A. is keeping her in check. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Stephen A. has had enough of Molly's anti-Caitlin Clark comments. Caitlin has already made her mark in the history books with her legendary rookie year, breaking several records and leading her class in almost every category.
As a rookie, ladies and gentlemen, put this in perspective. Caitlin Clark finished the regular season leading rookies in scoring, field goals made, three-point field goals made, assists, steals, and minutes played, and she led the league in assists and three-pointers made. Think about that for a second, and like Shannon says, ultimately, you first team, you one of those people. So we got in fourth.
Perhaps the most impressive part of Caitlin's story is how she handled a lot of hate, both on and off the court. Despite facing intense mental challenges, she was able to rise to the occasion and showcase her true greatness. This even led Stephen A. to compare her to other all-time greats who faced adversity both on and off the court and emerged stronger than ever.
The reason why in the public eye, Ali was the greatest was because of the adversity. It's not to compare one to the other, because I'm not trying to do that. I'm simply pointing out that what goes on outside the court, the field, the ring of play per se, matters, because your mental becomes incredibly important.
Molly was one of those throwing shade at Caitlin when she didn't make the Team USA Olympic roster. Molly believed that if Caitlin had been included, it would lead to the game being mocked because she supposedly wasn't talented enough. However, the opposite happened. Caitlin is a box office star, and because she wasn't part of the roster, fewer people tuned in to watch the games.
Nevertheless, for Team USA's game, rife with stars, expected to blow out their competition, they drew the worst crowd. Lowest attendance of the Olympics.
Some have argued that if Caitlin had been on the Olympic team, she would have stolen the spotlight, potentially distracting the team from their main goal of winning a gold medal. While that argument may sound silly to some, others actually see some validity in it. However, not including her on the team seems to have backfired even more.
Competition, it's about competition, right? How does it feel, Team USA, to have 6 games, 4 of them drew over 20,000, and the one that did it still drew 2,000 more than you?
Surely sharing the spotlight would have been better than having no attention at all, and that's exactly what's happening with Team USA. The truth is, no one expected the women's squad to lose in the Olympics. Their competition simply wasn't up to par. That's why it would have been the perfect chance to showcase their game by including a dynamic player like Caitlin Clark on the team. Part of the negativity she faced stemmed from jealousy, something Shannon Sharpe pointed out.
You giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. But there was a lot of people tried to make sure they keep Caitlin Clark in her place, because what you're doing, if you give her all this shine, you minimize what they done.
After averaging 24 points, 8.5 assists, and 5.2 rebounds per game in August, Caitlin was named Rookie of the Month for the 3rd time and also earned the Eastern Conference Player of the Month award. With this honor, she became the first rookie in WNBA history to receive the Player of the Month award. On September 4th, the Fever defeated the Los Angeles Sparks 93-86, with Clark contributing 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, marking her second career triple-double. During this game, she also hit her 100th three-pointer, making her the first rookie to achieve that milestone and the fastest player in WNBA history to do so, completing it in just 34 games. Additionally, it was Clark's third consecutive game with at least 20 points and 10 assists, tying Courtney Vandersloot's streak from 2017 for the longest in WNBA history.
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office.
Stephen A. pointed out that there were plenty of Caitlin naysayers trying to bring her down, even though they were ultimately hurting themselves in the process. Caitlin is a box office star. Whenever her name is linked to something, it draws attention and elevates everything connected to it. This benefit extends to everyone involved.
There was noise out there emanating from some, and those folks were very, very loud and conspicuous with their dissent towards things involving Caitlin Clark. When we pointed that out, we said why? What was the necessity for it? Because a rising tide lifts all boats.
Once more, it comes down to jealousy since others envy Caitlin Clark for the recognition she deserved. However, this backfired because nobody was interested in watching Team USA play.
Came through the conduit was her. Ultimately, it stood to benefit the collective whole. And rather than some out there accepting and embracing that, they resented it, and they tried to use the contributions of others who came before Caitlin Clark to justify their vitriol.
One of them, Molly, attempted to minimize Caitlin's accomplishments before making every effort to backtrack from her remarks when they proved to be untrue, but her co-hosts and the fans would not have it.
By the way, it wasn't that anybody didn't think she was going to be successful or not play. It was just that we felt the other players in the W deserve shine as well.
Molly, I said.
Really, Molly? Wow.
They jumped on us. They jumped on us, Molly. They jumped on us as a show. They jumped on us as a show when we talk about it.
While it is true that the WNBA has many amazing players, it would be unfair to Caitlin Clark if her greatness were to be overlooked in favor of highlighting the achievements of other players.
Look at that point. Look at how she played up until that point. Chelsea Gray had only played one game before she went to the Olympics. She was outplaying Diana Taurasi. Was she outplaying Diana Taurasi at that point in time that she was on the team? It's a simple yes or a simple no.
It's safe to say that she entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any other rookie right away. Most rookies enter the league and ride the bench for a while to work on their skill set. However, she also holds the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles in a rookie season, the most double-doubles by a rookie guard, the first rookie to record a triple-double, the single-game leader, and the youngest player to record a double-double with points and assists in back-to-back games. Some exceptional situations may begin immediately, and then there are the extremely exceptional cases that not only begin but also have a significant influence. Beyond this, Caitlin was entrusted with taking the WNBA to new heights and bringing the Indiana Fever back to relevancy following a 7-year postseason drought. Even in the NBA, when Wemby made his Day 1 debut, people praised and applauded him despite the fact that his team was among the bottom in the standings. However, Ken would not receive the same kind of leeway. In some ways, Caitlin is solely responsible for having to bear such a heavy burden. It's a good thing that her co-host kept the receipts because Molly tried to minimize her accomplishments in order to elevate other players. Her elite play in college ignited a sharp rise in women's basketball popularity, and now she had to maintain that.
Making the point that, at the time that they had picked the Olympic team, Caitlin Clark didn't necessarily deserve it based on her play on the court. When the point that Shannon and I was making at the time was that, wait a minute, in the end, there are people that have ended up on Team USA for reasons other than just their elite play at that particular moment in time.
It is evident that Stephen A. had had enough of Molly's backtracking, but this time he wasn't going to give up easily. Instead, he made sure Molly realized how incorrect her assessment was.
You were ahead of the curve.
You're not listening, Molly. You're not listening. I'm talking about your point, Molly. Your point.
And I'm explaining it to you.
At the end of the day, we were making the point. Do you want to promote the league or not? And people like Andrea and others were resistant to that playing a role in somebody.
There was never any doubt that Caitlin would eventually develop into an elite player, but what is surprising is how quickly she has done so. In fact, the season adjustments she made really helped her stand out from her peers and demonstrated her incredible basketball IQ. Despite this, there were still people who tried to promote the idea that Caitlin wasn't good enough to make the team at the time and that she has since proven that she deserves to be on the team. However, this idea offended Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. because Caitlin was already a star before the Olympics.
Averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a handout.
No, it wasn't a handout.
Being a superstar comes with a lot of responsibility, including producing views in addition to winning games. In that regard, she has outperformed expectations. She has not only been rewriting court history, but she is also consistently altering the way the company conducts business. With her incredible viewership, Caitlin has introduced a whole new generation of WNBA fans. I wonder if that would have been helpful worldwide. We'll never know because Molly agreed with the incredibly stupid plan to remove her from the team. With Caitlin's playmaking elevating her teammates and the team overall, the Fever are ready to go deep into the playoffs and have laid the groundwork to be a title challenger for many years to come.
Andrea, I'm not going to let you do that.
Go ahead,
Andrea,
Shay, go ahead,
I'm not going to let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was